have her here with all of her beautiful blooms, and I just hope that everybody can find a few moments of meditative peace and joy in the moment, because I'm really glad to have you all here. So thanks.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Heather McFarland, and I created Floral Healing. It's the only healing modality centered around fresh flowers. So I think that the best way for you to get to know floral healing and understand what it is for you to experience it. So we're going to get started with a mindful flower exercise. And feel free to participate in the extent that you're comfortable participating. So I'll be giving prompts like take some deep breaths and explore the flowers. So just do what you're comfortable with, and we will get started. So we're going to begin with eyes open meditation. So begin by taking some deep breaths as you look at your flower in front of you. Breathing deeper than you have yet today. Just settling into the moment here with your flower. And trusting that this particular flower you have chose you for a reason. You don't necessarily need to know why or know what it is, but just trusting that you got the right flower for you today. And with your eyes open and breathing deeply, begin to engage with your flower. Engage with your sense of touch, so you can touch the petals. Notice the different textures and edges. You might silently label what it is that you're feeling. For example, soft, buttery, rigid. And you can also tune into temperature sensations. So noticing, is the stem cool? How do the petals feel? Just exploring your flower in a new way. And then switching to your sense of sight. So just really exploring the colors and the color variations. Maybe the colors change from the center to the outside of the flower. Breathing deeply. And take a deep breath as you switch now to focus on your sense of smell. Smelling your flower, noticing its scent. If it has one, sometimes they don't. And see if the scent can help you breathe even deeper. And then explore your hearing sense. You can put the flower close to your ear and rustle it around. You might switch ears and notice that. You might also even get a message from the flower if you're open to that sort of thing. You might hear if it has something to offer you. And we'll skip the sense of taste for today. I know someone was handing out violas, so if you want to experience that, that's a good way to explore, but I generally don't advise using the sense of taste in these meditations unless I know for sure. And if you're comfortable now, go ahead and close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, I recommend just taking a soft gaze at your flower. And with your eyes closed, begin to check in with yourself now. Just noticing where you're at, noticing any tense areas in your body, breathing deeply. And notice with your eyes closed where the flower is in relation to your body. So with your eyes closed, still tuning into the flower's energy and being aware of your flower. And we're going to take a few moments sitting in meditation with this flower. So if any thoughts come by, see if you can just notice that they're there and let them pass on by. Anytime your mind wanders, you can return your focus to the flower or your breathing. So breathing deeply, being present in the moment now. If thoughts come up, which is very natural to have them come up, just notice them, let them pass on by, return your focus back to the flower and back to your breathing. If you notice any tension in your body, you can direct your breath to that area, and you can also direct healing flower energy to those tense areas to see if the flowers can help loosen up some of that tension. You can visualize the flower's energy going there. You can sense it or feel it. Breathing deeply, letting yourself relax into the moment, here with your flower, here with your breath, here with one another. And next we're going to switch back to, when you're ready, eyes open meditation. So take a few more deep breaths. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes to look at your flower once again with a fresh perspective, really seeing if you can be open to this experience, enjoying what the flower has to offer. exploring it with your senses once again. And then see if you can notice 3 things about your flower that you didn't initially see. Breathing deeply, connecting with your flower, connecting with the present moment. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So however it's landing for you is totally great. And we're going to transition out of the meditation. Just take a few more deep breaths and look around the room just to become more aware of your surroundings once again. Sometimes you can label things that you see, like colors and items. We're working with lots of fresh flowers here, so that's fun to look at. So that's a mindful exercise I like to introduce people to because it uses your 5 senses and it helps you explore the flowers in a new way. So I'd love to hear from a few of you if you're willing to share what stood out to you about that experience or what did you enjoy about that process? Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I'll talk more about that later too, about combining fresh flowers with practices that you already do, like meditation. Yeah. Thank you. Ah, uh-huh. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Something for you to look forward to then, combining the two. Yes.
So I think it's interesting as a grower, I spend so much time with the seeds, planting the seeds, feeling the seeds, putting them in, and then like tending to it, cultivating that, making sure that it grows. But then when it comes to the cutting and the harvesting, like cut, get it in the buckets, get it somewhere else. And then there's an arrangement that I can enjoy, but individually, I've never sat with a flower and just taken all of it in very sensually, and I on me for not doing that. Like it's beautiful. Like I do the front part and the end, but not this middle that
Yes.
is individual.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. How about for you? Yes. Awesome. Yeah, you all might be doing some version of this without necessarily realizing that you're doing that. Anybody else care to share? Yes?
I felt like for me, obviously I'm around flowers all the time, but I felt like for me, kind of tone in onto like all the different shades that are in the flower, especially this one. But really, any type of flower, you kind of tone in on more of the different layers and the shades of colors, and I mean, it's just gorgeous to tone in on that for sure. So,
Yay. Awesome. Thank you.
You said
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you can look at the flower and relate to it or see where you're feeling open like this one, or maybe where you're just budding like this one. There's a lot of prompts that we can get from the flowers. And thank you, everyone. All right, so that was the first exercise. And so you may have noticed that when you engage with flowers in a mindful way, your mind slows down. So in that exercise, you were being very present, very in the here and now. And so you weren't worrying about the past or stressing about the future. And that's one of the gifts of mindfulness. And flowers are really the ideal vessel for mindfulness because they have so much rich sensory experiences to offer us. What'd you say?
They're unavoidable.
Yeah. Yeah, they really call out to you. Yeah. So I imagine that when you're out tending to your flowers, like you said, you notice how healing and amazing they are. And you might notice too when you bring them to the market, or if you have subscription clients who come by, that they are calmed when they're around the flowers. And sometimes it's conscious and sometimes it's unconscious, but it's a thing and we can all see it and we can all feel it. And so what I did was I took that feeling and created a healing modality called floral healing, and it's based on 3 key components. And the first one is mindful connection to flowers. So that's what we just did. We were mindful, we were connecting with the flowers in the present moment. And the more time we spend in the here and now, the better we feel and the stronger our mental health is, because we're just here. We're in the present moment. We're not rooted in the past, stressing about the future. And so the more time we can spend in a mindful state, the better we will feel. So that's the first pillar of floral healing. And I also want to ask, what is something about your flower here that you have that makes you say, oh my gosh, wow? Like, what is like one specific tiny thing that you noticed that you were like, oh my gosh, I love that? Yeah? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah? Yeah, like on one stalk. It's like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like how some of them are like still closed and gonna open soon. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you slow down and you meditate with the flowers, or even just take some deep breaths and look at the flowers or touch the flowers, you can see, oh wow, look at that curve on that stem, or look at those tiny little hairs that are so soft on the stem that you may not have noticed before. So one of my hopes for you is that when you're out harvesting your flowers, and I know, like you said, like you have a deadline to meet, so you might not want to just be out there like, oh, look at this beautiful stem. But I hope that you can take some deep breaths and look at the flowers and engage with them in this new way. So that's something that you can bring back to your flower farm or your floral design practice, whatever it may be. And the second pillar of floral healing is lessons from flowers and the garden. One of my favorite lessons from flowers is that I can't be in full bloom all the time. So as much as I might like to be thriving in all areas of my life, usually it doesn't happen like that. And so we need to trust the process and trust that the seeds that we've planted are growing, and not lose faith or hope when we don't see the results of those yet. Because as you know, one day there's nothing there, and then the next day there's a beautiful green shoot, and then soon all these beautiful flowers have come out. So when we relate our experience to flowers and the garden, we have a frame of reference, because when you're experiencing something that's difficult and you don't have a frame of reference for it, it becomes that much more difficult because you feel like you're going through it alone, or you don't know how to define it or make sense of it. So in floral healing with my coaching clients, I have them relate their own experience to flowers, to the garden, to make sense of what they're experiencing. And we also do that in the moment too. So they bring fresh flowers to every session, and you ask questions about the flower. Like, where are you noticing your imperfections? What imperfections have you noticed about yourself lately that you're totally embracing, whereas maybe in the past you didn't want to even face that? So there's all these lessons that we can learn from flowers in the garden. Does anyone have a lesson they'd like to share that they've learned from their practice? Patience, yes, definitely.
I think like anytime you pinch something, that you've gone from one single stem to this branching effect that makes the plant stronger and bigger and more beautiful, and it has more to offer than it originally did. There's so many things to draw.
Yes, definitely. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the more time you spend out there, the more open you are to it. And I wonder how you've gotten more comfortable with the bugs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're also speaking to being open to experimenting as well. So, like, that's one of my favorite things about gardening is trying something new and seeing how it goes. And sometimes it doesn't produce, and sometimes it does. And that's part of the fun of the process. So, lots of lessons from flowers in the garden to draw on. And the third pillar of floral healing we kind of already spoke about, but the third pillar is wellness tools. Because a few of you were saying like, oh, I've never gone this deep with this flower before. I should have thought of that before. But really, this is a new field. It's an emerging field. And so you may not have thought to do it in that way. And so part of what I do is I combine floral healing with wellness tools that are already established. Because when I'm sharing a workshop, for example, people don't always know what floral healing is, but they know what yoga and flowers is. And so we did a flower yoga class where I partnered with a yoga studio, and I led a guided meditation similar to this. And then we decorated our mats with the flowers. And then she did a gentle yoga practice among the blooms. So we'd be stretching, and all of a sudden we'd look over and there's a cheerful flower right there. So it's a way, like, I'd love for you to think about, okay, what do I already do for my wellness, for my self-care, and how can I bring flowers into it? Yes. Yes. Any other ideas you have about how you could combine self-care with fresh flowers? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So with that artwork that you and your son make, you could spend 5 minutes talking about it or 5 minutes meditating with it and then talking about it and seeing what comes up. So you can combine what you already love doing for self-care with the fresh flowers. And I would definitely encourage you all to do that since you seem to have a lot of access to the flowers, which is amazing. And part of what I do as well is I teach floral healing to business owners so that they can use it in their practices. So I heard quite a few of you talking about issues of like getting the product to the people. And so what if you were able to offer floral healing on your farm or at your floral studio, and you could offer a service-based product? So you could do a flower meditation or a flower yoga class or a floral healing coaching session. So there are all these ways that you can use floral healing, and that's one of the things that I offer as a certification program. So if you're interested in that and want to branch out into a service-based business with your flowers, definitely let me know. I'd love to chat with you more about that. And I also have a final exercise that we're going to do. So whether or not a service-based floral component to your business is part of what you're wanting, I'd like you to think of a goal that you have for your life or for your business for this particular week. And just kind of think about what it is. And the flower is going to help you with this goal or intention, as I like to say. So once you have your goal or your intention for this week, begin to engage with your flower once again, taking some deep breaths. And I'll prompt you to bring back the intention or goal. So for now, just engaging with the petals and stem once again. And then if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes now. If not, take a soft gaze at the flower, breathing deeply. So with your eyes closed, call back that intention or goal that you have for this week. And ideally, it's something that you have control over, not something that's completely dependent upon external circumstances. So just breathing deeply, feeling into that goal, that intention. And with your flower that you have there, you've already built up this energetic connection with the flower. Ask the flower if it can support you in this intention for the week. You can silently ask it, you can energetically ask it. And then tune into the feeling of that intention coming to you from the flower. The flower is helping you with this intention, it's supporting you in this process. Feeling it come through. You might feel it in your heart space. Breathing deeply, allowing in the support from the flower. You might also check to see if the flower has any advice or any word or essence or feeling to offer you related to helping you achieve or come to this intention. So what other support does the flower have to offer you? Is there anything you didn't already think of that maybe the flower can send to you now? So opening up to anything that the flower has to offer you related to this, breathing deeply. And whatever your intention was, you might combine it with what you just got from the flower, but distill it into a sentence or a few words that are easy to remember. And take a deep breath as you now send that intention to the flower so that the flower is going to embody this intention for you. It's going to hold this intention for you, sending it from yourself, from your heart to the flower. You can feel the intention going from you to the flower in an energetic way. You might visualize it going to the flower. And then taking a few more deep breaths as you prepare to open your eyes and connect with the flower with your eyes open once again. So breathing deeply a few more times. And then opening your eyes when you're ready and noticing the way that your flower is holding this intention for you. Noticing the way that your flower is supporting you with this intention. And then to ground back into the present moment, touching the petals, touching the stem once again, because I know sometimes we can go pretty far off in these meditations. So getting grounded once again, touching the petals, the stem, smelling the scent. You might even feel what the petals feel like on your face. Just any new way that you can engage with the flowers, I welcome you to do that, because you have all this access to these fresh flowers that you grow from seed to full bloom. So however you can really enjoy them and experience them, I would fully encourage that. So we'll end that exercise by just looking around the room now, just getting grounded once again. And these flowers, I'm not sure if you're going to keep them. I think so. But if not, they will be holding the energy of your intention for you. So part of floral healing is trusting that the flowers are supporting you in your process so that you feel encouraged, you feel hopeful, you feel like you have a supportive partner along the way of your journey in these fresh flowers. And so really trusting that and leaning into that. And is anyone willing to share what their flower is now holding for them as far as their intentions go?
What I noticed throughout this meditation is that my little belly ball here is a really cohesive and elegant, simple shape, but when you look close, there's a lot going on. And I feel that in my own life as a mom, as a business owner, as a grower, and there's a whole lot going on at all times. And so the intention, I think, and the message that I got from this and choosing this, and it chose me, right, is that it is possible with pattern and structure to have a lot of complexity, but not have it be overwhelming, because if you step back, it is a more simple and elegant.
Beautiful. Yeah, you related many different aspects of your life to that tiny little flower. And you may not have noticed all the intricacies had we not sat there and really looked at them, really sensed them, really felt them. So that's beautiful. Thank you. This is a practice that you can use with a single flower or with a bouquet even. And so I would encourage you to practice this with your flowers at home. And if you want to start offering something like this to your clients, we could think of fun ways to do that. So that's part of the work that I do as well. And I want to thank you all for being so open to this, because it is a new thing. And I created floral healing. I started as a therapist, and I felt very limited by the talking modalities, and I needed nature involved, and I needed creativity involved, and even movement too. Because for me, I found that for my own healing, I needed those things. I couldn't just talk about it. So flowers are a wonderful tool for your healing, and all of us can be healers if we embody that. And we can also be self-healers. So really partner with the fresh flower, use it for your own healing, use it to set intentions around your house. And one of my main missions is for people to realize that flowers are so much more than something beautiful we can place, and they do lift our mood when we walk by them. But when we connect with them in a mindful way, we can heal with them, we can grow with them, we can be strengthened by these flowers. And as you mentioned earlier, they teach us so much about ourselves too. So any tool for self-reflection, I'm a fan of, and flowers are my favorite way to do it. So thank you everyone for being here. And I'm open to any questions if anyone has questions. Yes? I have not. So in my work as a therapist, it was with adults, but I do have a daughter, and she's 1 years old, and so we go out in the garden, but not formally. I'd love to explore that more, but my main focus is adults. Do you think it would be helpful for kiddos?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that would be beautiful. And really an accessible way you could add that without, yeah, much added on work. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
To piggyback off of that,
Uh-huh.
I actually do that with my nieces a lot, and because I bring flowers to my family a lot. And something that I do with them is like, especially a snapdragon, because if you open it up, I mean, it looks like it's talking to you. So I actually like do that with my nieces. I'm like, if you go up to it really, really slow, they'll actually be talking to you. And then I see that fairies live in them too. And you're like, where are they? And they get really excited about it. So definitely kiddos are like, they get really, really excited. It's very cute. So
That's
something I wanted to
amazing.
share.
Yeah, thank you. Yes?
What type of clients are you working with? Like corporate environment or?
So, clients who are floral designers and want to branch out of like event floristry, for example, and offer more healing. And then people who do flower workshops, and maybe the flower workshops are for fun and celebration right now, but they want to bring a more healing and mindful component to the workshops. And then also people who are starting businesses based around flowers and want to learn about connecting with the energetic connection to the flowers and how to incorporate floral healing in their work. And then also people who are healers already. So I have someone who's working with domestic violence survivors, and she's learning floral healing so she can practice it in a group setting. And because I have that therapy background, I'm very careful to speak about it. Like, I'm not teaching people how to do therapy. If people are therapists already, they can add it to their toolbox. But I'm teaching people floral healing so that they can help people heal with fresh flowers, and there are many ways that we do that in the program. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would be delighted if you would snap a picture of your flower and share your intention on social media. I'm at Floral Healing Coaching, and I left a sign up sheet for email over near the front if you want to join my newsletter as well. And I'd love to do a one-on-one with you on Zoom. I live in Portland, so if you're local to there, we can meet up there. But definitely am, yes, as you said, spreading the flower power, and delighted to be here at Flormania. I get to lead a meditation tomorrow and then participate in all the floral design activities and workshops as well. So I'm really happy to be here, and thank you everyone, and keep blooming.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Floral Healing Coaching.